So this is the part where you find out my entire plan for the show is look how cool the background is. That's all I've got. So you can leave now if you would like. You can just go. I don't think my headphones are the right. There we go. That feels better. Okay. Yeah, I'm at the Odd. It's pretty cool, right? It's not there anymore. This is Canal Side. I'm at Canal Side. We have a terrible arena that's about to host hockey, playoff hockey, for the first time in forever. But I remember when we used to play in here, right here, this place that still exists on this show. Doesn't exist anymore. It's Canal Side. This is where I saw Weezer. I mean, inside of here is where I saw everyone. Everyone played shows at the Odd. Everyone. Then they took it down, and now, there's outdoor shows tangentially, whatever, right in the same basic place. We have outdoor shows now because we have Canal Side, which is beautiful. It's fine. But the Odd was awesome. The current arena is garbage, but it's going to host playoff games, so that's cool. Welcome back, playoff hockey. It's not done yet, although we have determined the Sabres are going to play the Bruins, but we don't have dates or anything. So it'll be, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday, it seems like. I don't have anything official on when playoff hockey begins. But I want it to start now. Now would be great. It won't be at the Odd. The seats won't be pretty colors like this. Remember this? Oh, so great. We had I had season tickets the first year of the Bandits in the upper blues. So you can't see those because they're tucked under the oranges. But you couldn't see the scoreboard. And the ticket, take a guess. First year the Bandits existed. I was like, I was in high school. And I was like, I can afford season tickets. So stupid. Take a guess what I paid. I had tickets in the upper blues where you couldn't see the scoreboard, so tucked under the oranges there. And there were 4 home games. It was an 8-game season the Bandits played. This is all from memory. I haven't looked anything up. This is all from memory. But the Bandits had 8 games, 4 at home. I was a season ticket holder year 1. How much do you think I spent to be a season ticket holder for the Buffalo Bandits in the upper blues? Again, tucked under the oranges. Not as high up as the oranges, but you can't see the scoreboard. And it's really, God, I wouldn't want to sit there now. I'm claustrophobic to a certain extent. And I don't, I'm shivering a little, thinking about possibly sitting under the oranges there. But what do you think that cost? 4 tickets to sit in the upper blues for the Buffalo Bandits, the inaugural season. I don't know if it was the inaugural season of the NLL or if I think it was. I think NLL started then. Total cost to be a season ticket holder for 1 seat. $32. $32. 32. That's it. It was $8 a game. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. I don't remember how I got money then. I worked at Ted's, or I worked at Mike Weber's greenhouse, or I worked, where else did I work? Hills. That was only for a month. I was the door guard at Hills for Christmas season. I was in charge of asking people for receipts. Look, the people at Walmart now, I was that, but at Hills in 1990 or something like that. 91. I don't know. 89 even. In that range. That was my first job. Hills door guard 1 month. Then Mike Weber's greenhouse, Ted's, Orchard Park Ted's. That was great. That was a great job. Working at Ted's was the best. I would work at Ted's again now. I still, I think that if you walk into a fast food place that you used to work, you would be like grossed out by it, I think. And for whatever reason, everything about Ted's was awesome. It was right. It was perfect. And I still, when I go in there, it smells, I'm like, ooh, yeah. Yeah, I worked here. This is awesome. I dressed Tom Joel's hot dog at one point. My manager, my boss, was Tom Joel's, Commander Tom, Channel 7. My boss was his daughter, and he came in once, and it was, what a day that was. What a day. Tom Joel's is eating my hot dogs, and I got to dress his dogs. So that's on my list. He's no longer with us, but man, that is something you guys should want, is to dress Commander Tom's hot dogs. What a day. That was awesome. It's episode 290, what? 294 of Riter Radio. I worked at Ted's for 2 years, saw Scotty Bowman a lot at the Williamsville location. Is that the one on Transit across from like Home Depot? Because now that's my closest Ted's now. It wasn't back then. I did the Orchard Park one. Ted's is great. Hot dogs are great. We're back to talking about hot dogs. Here we are. All right, I've got some stuff written down, but not really. Like this is me doing nothing until 11, and then Bob Gahn will be on. And that's the focal point of the show is Bob. I cannot. All right, let's guess what Bob wants to talk about, because I don't. He used to send me, here are the 5 things I want to discuss. He doesn't do it anymore. I don't want it. I don't need it. I trust him. I think number 1 on Bob's list will be the Diana Rossini thing and Mike Vrabel. I think. I'll be very disappointed if that's not what Bob gets us into, because that's going to be fun. Bob on women is funny. Over under on number of times Bob uses the word whore in a conversation about Diana Rossini. 2.5. I'm setting it at 2.5. You place your own bets. This is not a wagering site. Whatever you want to do is fine. But I think 2.5 times he says whore. Over under. I'm going to go under, because I think it's twice. I think he's going to say whore twice. We're not going to bring this up to him. He doesn't listen, I don't think, during that, because he's busy. He's at work. I don't think he is going to hear me talking about this. So we're going to just zip it and be silent about this. But I think Bob will say whore twice. He'll say it twice. For sure once. For sure once, maybe twice. Probably under 2.5, though. So, do what you want. Over 2.5 is at plus 140 or something, I would imagine. I haven't looked it up, but it's in that neighborhood. I'm going under, but I would definitely go over 1/2, because I think the word whore will come out of Bob's mouth when talking about Diana Rossini. All right. So the Sabres have an opponent. We don't have a schedule yet. They're still playing like regular season games that I don't care about at all, because the Sabres are done and just waiting to play Boston. But there are games tonight. The season ends tonight. But there are how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 regular season games that will happen tonight. West, 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 West. They're all in the West. Thursday games, 6 games, all of them in the West. The cheapest, if you want a ticket, you can go to Anaheim at Nashville for as low as $27, according to ESPN.com. And then if you want to see San Jose at Winnipeg, that's going to run you $106. but Canadian. So it's like 27. Very similar. All right. I mentioned this at the end of the show yesterday. I won't do this show next week. I'm going to do today. I'll do tomorrow. And then I won't do this because I'm doing WGR again by myself this time. No Tim, no Owen, no Chris, nobody, just me. I'll have Dan as my producer, I think, which is fine. He's cool. I'll talk to him a little bit, but mostly it's going to be this show with preparation. I'll try. I don't try here. This is just I don't know. I don't know what this is for. I don't know why I do this. I mean, in part, I do this for the sponsors, which I haven't mentioned in a while because I haven't done that in a while. But we have a brand new sponsor. And I feel a little bad because when I got the odd photo that's right here and the Geneseo bear photo that you'll see during I was going to say commercial break, but like the music break. When I take a break, you'll see Bill O'Reilly saying, "We'll do it live," which I think is cool. But I also attach the bear from the fountain at Geneseo, SUNY Geneseo, where I went to school. And the legend of the bear is that if anybody graduates from Geneseo, I hope I'm getting this right for any Geneseo people, Geneseo historians who are watching and listening. I apologize if I get it wrong, but here's my memory of the bear who was atop the fountain on Main Street, right at Main and Center in downtown village of Geneseo. If a student graduates and is also a virgin, the bear will run away. And so far, the bear has not run away, which I don't like because my sister went there. But you know, it's fine. Whatever. She's old now too, so whatever happened is fine. But the bear has not run away. It's been knocked down multiple times. There's a circle in the center of the village. It's on Main Street. Main Bank Street's right there. Center Street's right there. It's right there. And there's a bear. And you'll see him. Hold on, I can put him on the screen. It's right here now, I think. All right. Yeah, that. All right. So I'm going to take myself off and there. The bear, right? See the bear? There's a bear at the top of the fountain. He's holding I don't know what that is. A lantern? A honey pot? I don't know what's going on exactly with the bear. But I do know that the bear will run away if a virgin ever graduates from my alma mater. And so far, so good. Bear's still just hanging out. So we got that. And also we got the odd. Oh, here was the point. I went looking for the Store 716 logo, which I know is stored somewhere on this ancient computer that I use to do the show, and I didn't find it. But I found a picture of the odd, and I found the picture of the bear. So the show looks different, but the point was that I was going to start. I have a whole new policy on sponsors for the show, and Store 716 is in. So the show is brought to you by Store 716. Part of this is I talked to the guys over there, and I was like, they have a cool like Lindy Ruff shirt that I want, but I'm never going to drive to Depew and give them $25 for a shirt. I'm just not going to do it. I was like, why don't you sponsor the show? Send me the shirts. I'll wear the shirts. We'll talk about it and give me some money too. And they're like, yep, here you go. So I got money yesterday from Store 716, and I imagine a 2XL of the Lindy Ruff shirt is probably going to show up like tomorrow, which is great. So there you go. Store716.com is the place that is now sponsoring the show. All right. I got to bag Tom Joel's groceries when I worked at the Orchard Park Bells. That isn't as exciting as dressing as hot dogs, but I thought I'd share. Damn, now I want Ted's. Same. Love their cheese dogs. Cheese dogs? What? I don't know if it's from working at Ted's or just enjoying hot dogs. Cheese dog doesn't seem like a thing you would do. To me, yes, everything. I'll take it how you make it is kind of how I do it everywhere. You have a specialty sub, I'll take it the way you make it. You have a hot dog? Yes. What would you like on it? Whatever you put on it. I'm not veering from the intended options here. Hot dog, everything. Yes. I have at times said extra hot sauce, but other than that, the hot dog, they know what they're doing. Cheese dog at Ted's, dumbass. What are you doing? I don't believe in what you're saying. I told you this show is nothing, right? The highlight of the show is there's a picture of the odd behind me. That's it. That's what we got. And then Bob will be on, and he'll say a bunch of dumb shit. So that'll be cool. But I've got nothing. Personally, nothing. All right. I've got a recipe. Here, all right. I'm going to go through my the tabs that are open right now. One is a recipe that I tried to save. So I'm a 51-year-old man, and I have a Pinterest account. But I use it primarily. I have basically 3 different pages or 3 different categories. I don't know what you call it on Pinterest. One is recipes keepers. One is recipes to try, and one is projects. So like the thing that's over here that holds all my records, but in like a record store kind of way. So you get to look at the front and flip through them like this instead of the spines. You don't want to look at the spines of vinyl. I can't see it. I'm old. My eyes don't work. I want to flip through it like I'm at a record store. So I made this thing. I got that off of Pinterest. That's in the projects part. And then recipes to try, recipe keepers. So if I find something online, it goes to try. And then we try it. If we like it, it goes to keepers. So there's probably, 50 things in keepers. And there's probably 150 things in to try. And I attempted to add this recipe to the try thing, but I don't think it worked. Like something went wrong with Pinterest. And it's taco stuffed shells. I mean, come on. It's only got 4.32 out of 5 stars. But, all right, let's jump to recipe. Jumbo shell pasta, ground beef, yes. Taco seasoning, yes. Minced garlic, yep. Cream cheese, salsa, yes. Chopped green onions, yes. Taco blend cheese. Those are the ingredients. That's it. So the only questionable one there is cream cheese. The rest of it is awesome. So I don't know that I'll ever make this, but it has been, I attempted to say it. I'm going to try again because I don't think it worked. I couldn't log into my Pinterest account. But yeah, I'm 51. I'm a dude. I got a Pinterest account. Get lost. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Where did it go? Recipes to try. Save. There's a little padlock on that one. Oh, promote your pin. No. See it now. No. Nothing. None of that. All right, here are my choices on Pinterest. You ready? I'm gonna read you my Pinterest Italian oysters. I'm not gonna actually do that. Oh crap. I wanted to see the list. The list is funny. The categories are funny. Give me a sec. It's going to happen. No. Create your boards. Your boards. There we go. All right. Nope. That one's called... Oh, here we go. All right. Here are the... I said that I have 3, but I actually have way more than 3. I have 3 that I plan on using. They are recipes to try, recipes keepers, and projects. Here are my actual lists. Here is my actual list, I should say. All right, here we go. Recipes to try. I mentioned that one. Pool. Pool is mostly because I had to build a deck for my above-ground pool, and it took forever, but it happened. It's done. Next one is called basement. That's got like the record thing in it and stuff for baseball, whatever, display things and like I don't have a finished basement. This is it looks like I'm at the odd, but I'm really in my unfinished basement. And I don't mind it being unfinished. I don't need it to be like classy. I'm fine. But I have ideas, and then Pinterest gives me idea, or the internet gives me ideas, and I save them on Pinterest. And this is how we end up with like the way that the bar is set up down here, the way that the projector is set up. All that comes from basement Pinterest. All right. Recipes keepers, projects, trivia resources. I've been known to do trivia shows on occasion. Pool deck is a separate one from projects and pool. So, all right. Drew. That's my youngest kid. I have 15 pins in Drew. I don't know what that is. Podcast tips and tricks. That's about like audio editing mostly. Like how to use, I was going to say Cool Edit Pro. It's not called that. Whatever. The audio thing that I use. $20 gifts for guys. That's when I was selling trivia games. The 2016 NFL Draft is in here as a folder, as a board. It's called a board in Pinterest. Drew's first birthday. That's the second time Drew has shown up. Entertaining kids. One pin in there. Tech tips, Android, etc. Okay. Gift ideas. Boy hairstyles, because I cut my kid's hair. Mortgage. 2 pins. 6 years ago. I think we've been in this house for 7. Maybe I was trying to buy another house. I don't remember. Kitchen Island Designs. House Search. Car Shopping December 2018. And then the first thing I see is a picture of what looks exactly like my truck. Except my truck is at 21, so I'm not positive what's going on there. What else do we have? Trivia research, UB bowl stuff, car stuff, youth football, living room furniture, workout, sports gifts and games, Zach's Blaze Party. 49 pins in the Zach's Blaze Party. You guys know Blaze? No? Blaze is he's like a monster truck. They're like stompers from when I was a kid. But Zach's Blaze Party has 49 pins in it. Paw Patrol Party. Fine. Exercise. There's only one in there. It's never been opened. And then show prep. Those are the folders that I have. But I really use the ones that I talked about, which are recipes to try and recipes keepers, and then projects. Projects has 138 pins. Recipes keepers has 58. Recipes to try is 328. A lot of ideas. A lot of options going on. Okay. I'm going to close that. I don't remember why I started talking about Pinterest, but I thought I should share that info with you, kind people. Oh, I started it because I was just going through the tabs that are open. The town of Aurora presents Lowest of the Low, June 20th. The last time I talked to Ron Hawkins, he said he wasn't coming to our country anymore. And it's Aurora, California. It's not Aurora, us. Not East Aurora, not in our hood. That must be why this is open. I don't recall opening this. Tickets are only $42. Oh, it's in Ontario. Aurora, Ontario. David de Simone Performance Hall. Yeah, last I talked to Ron, he was not interested in being a part of our country anymore while the current president is in office. And I thought this was a violation of his policy, but it is not. So good for him. Stand tall. Ron Hawkins, you're the man. Ron Hawkins is the best. So cool. Victims angered by Islanders fundraiser for convicted cop. What? I left this open for a reason. The Islanders are facing questions about a Jumbotron promotion, urging hockey fans to donate to a former New York City police sergeant who was recently convicted of manslaughter for hurling a cooler of ice at a man fleeing arrest. Okay. I understand why this is open. The fundraiser, shown on the scoreboard during Tuesday's home game against the Hurricanes, featured a photo of Eric Duran, who was sentenced last week to 3 to 9 years in prison for causing the death of 30-year-old Eric Dupree. After he killed a guy with ice, he had to be like, his name was Eric too? Right? He had to feel that. I would feel that. If I was a cop and killed somebody, and then I found out the dude's name was Brad, I'd be like, like we had a bond. We were good. We were all set. We could have hung out. All right. It included a QR code for direct donations to Duran's legal defense, along with a message from his union, the Sergeants Benevolent Association, requesting fans to join the fight for The fight for justice. Sorry. The team also said it would direct a quarter of proceeds from a 50-50 raffle toward the cause, the union said. Anybody else have the same problem I do right now? 50-50. It's a 50-50 raffle. You don't donate a quarter of anything. It's 50 and it's 50, and that's it. That's stupid. The union's president, Vincent Valalong, said the fundraiser came together after someone at the New York Post informed him the Islanders wanted to do something for Duran. Wanted to do something, is in quotes. A spokesperson for the Islanders declined to comment. An emailed inquiry to the Post was not returned. An attorney for Dupre's family, Eric Dupre's family, John Roberts, said they were, quote, deeply troubled by the decision of the Islanders to align themselves, even symbolically, with efforts that appear to support Sergeant Duran's legal defense. The statement continued, this was not a neutral act. It sends a message, intended or not, that risks undermining public confidence in a fair legal process and deepens the pain of a family still grieving. The NHL did not respond to a request seeking comment. Dupre's death came as Duran and other narcotics officers were carrying out an undercover drug bust in the Bronx in 2023. Surveillance footage showed Duran lifting a bystander's cooler full of drinks and ice and throwing it at Dupree as he attempted to flee on a motorized scooter. The impact of the cooler caused him to crash into a tree, and he died almost instantly. This is a real ESPN story on their hockey page about a drug bust 3 years ago where a guy fled on a motorized scooter and got hit from behind with a cooler full of drinks and ice and then died. And the guy who threw the cooler is sentenced to prison. I think I'm on the Islanders side here. I think I support Duran, Eric Duran. The former sergeant's conviction in February drew fierce protests from police officers and their supporters who argued it would discourage officers from doing their jobs and hurt public safety. It's the first time in at least 2 decades that an NYPD officer will spend time in prison for an on-duty death. His attorney said he will appeal the sentence. Union president said the chance to raise money for Duran at a professional hockey game came out of left field Photographs published by the Post, New York Post, show Vallelong posing with Islanders co-owner John Ledecky and newspaper executive Pat Judge inside the team's stadium, which is on Long Island. I would call it an arena more than a stadium, but that's fine. Vallelong said the arena blew up into applause when Duran's photograph appeared on the video screen. He dismissed criticism of the hockey team's decision to solicit donations. Quote, they're a private organization. They can do whatever they want, he said of the Islanders, likening the promotion to celebrations of the military common in professional sports. Vallelong declined to say how much money was raised for the Legal Defense Fund. The 50-50 raffle took in $44,890, according to the Islanders website, and that's the whole story. I'm on the cops team here. I'm pro cop in this particular instance. If you throw a cooler full of beverages and ice into the back of a disappearing possible drug lord on a scooter and then he hits a tree, I don't think that's your fault. I think that's his fault for being a drug dealer trying to get away from cops on a scooter. Also, nice throw. That's hard to do. I've never attempted to throw a cooler full of ice and beverages anywhere. But to hit a moving target and then that dude driving into a tree and then dying, I mean, the dying part is tough. But if you're not running away from the cops, you're okay. I think. Right? Okay. Bob is going to join me at 11. I'm Brad. It's Riter Radio. It's episode 294. Seems like a lot. But yeah, 294. And it's brought to you by Store 716. I'll be back with you in a few, and it won't just be me. It'll be Bob, who has a plan. I have no plan. My whole plan for the show was I'm gonna be at the odd like this. That's the whole plan. I understand if you leave. I understand if you don't want to stick around. You don't have to be here. But Bob's gonna be awesome. So that would be foolish. I'll be right back with Bob. It's Riter Radio. And Bob, I just told you that we're going to talk to you in 2 minutes, but we're not because the song stopped playing. So we're going to talk to you now. All right, where's Bob? Here, we got to play this.
The way my kids date now, it's so simple. They go on an app, whether it's Grindr or whatever, they swipe right, swipe left, and they get the date automatically.
Let's check in with Riter Radio's
living legend,
Bob Gaw.
All right, so we've got you sooner than we planned, but I bet you're ready. I bet you're ready. You're ready all the time. Bob is always ready. Here's Bob. What's up, Bob?
I am ready, Brad. Hey,
See?
how are you, Brad?
Thought so.
I am ready.
Thought so. Figured. Imagined. What's up, man?
Well, I'm going to start off with something that you got to set me straight here, because I'm going to start off with something that like an old man would say.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Which is like, the sports were better when I was younger, okay?
Yep. Of course they were.
Now, I think the overlap in our life was the 1980s. And what I mean by that is I was in grammar school in the 70s. I was high school and college in the 80s. I believe you were grammar school, maybe a little high school in the 80s, college in the 90s. But the overlap is the 1980s, okay?
Yep.
All right. So I'm watching, before the Masters on Sunday, I'm watching a documentary on the 86 Masters.
Okay.
Nicholas wins.
Yep.
They call it the greatest golf tournament of all time.
Okay.
Okay? It started me thinking, are you ready for this, Brad?
I'm ready for anything.
All of the documentaries that I have seen about sports that took place in the 80s, I think you've seen, if not all, most of these. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
When I am done with these, tell me if I'm not mistaken, that sports might have been better in the 80s when we were growing up. Here are all the documentaries about sports, iconic teams and or games that took place in the 80s.
All right, hit
okay?
me. Yep.
Several, and I say several on the 1980 U.S. hockey team.
Of course.
Victory over Russia.
Yep.
Several, not just one, several on that team. I'm going to go sport by sport.
Okay.
College basketball, 1983, Survive and Advance, great documentary about the NC State team that beat Houston.
Yep.
There's also a documentary more recently on the Phi Slama Jama team, on that Houston team that they beat.
Yep.
Documentary on the Big East, the 80s basketball, how good the Big East was in the 80s, particularly 1985 when they sent 3 teams to the Final Four. But there's a great documentary called The Perfect Game. That's when Villanova beat a dominant Georgetown team in 85.
Who's the other one in the
2.
Final Four? Seton Hall?
St. John's.
St. John's. Okay.
St.
Yep.
John's. So The Perfect Game, great documentary on that victory over Georgetown. Let's just stick with basketball. Documentary on the Lakers and Celtics rivalry of the 80s, Bird versus Magic.
Yeah.
So documentary on that team. Also documentary on the 83 Sixers team, one of the great teams of all time.
Okay.
Not even the best documentary on basketball. My kids love the late 80s documentary on the Bad Boys Pistons.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
My kid, one of my kids' prized possessions, this says something about the Gaunt, is a Bill Laimbeer jersey.
That's awesome.
And if you, and I hate to say this, oh God, I should never admit this, but when we coached Little League, we couldn't stop a kid going to the basket. And we kind of enacted the Jordan rules, which is filter him to the center of the court, and put him on his butt, and he'll start shooting jump shots. It's a legitimate. I'm sorry, it's a legitimate basketball.
I do it now, Bob. I'll admit it. I coached as recently as 2 weeks ago, and I will coach next year, and that is our plan. If you've got the one kid that's going to kill us, we're going to take care of him. Yep.
Yes. So, all right, documentary. That's basketball. Baseball, of course. I think our favorite teams went against each other. Documentary '86. Documentary on the Red Sox that lost. Documentary on the Mets, the team that won that. So those are 2 separate documentaries.
Yep. There's one on
baseball,
just Doc and Strawberry too. There were Doc and Daryl or something. That was another one.
Yeah, documentary on 2 years later. The Kirk Gibson home run over Eckersley, right?
Yeah.
That happens in '88. Documentary on that with that great game. College football documentary on on the U. The first U documentary on Miami is. There's so many games in that. The Nebraska game when they win, the Hail Flutie game when Flutie hits the Hail Mary, when they wear fatigues and they lose to Penn State. Those are all wonderful games. And then there's a specific documentary just on one game, Catholics versus Convicts, 1988. Just an unbelievable documentary. Save Jimmy Johnson's dash for me. Lou Holt saying that, right? Just a great documentary. Documentary on boxing, documentary on Mike Tyson.
Oh, my God,
who becomes in, boxing circles. Now, Buster Douglas is actually February of '90, but he wins the title in the late '80s. So I'm going to count that documentary as legitimate.
Tyson is '80s to me. The real Tyson, the scary version of Tyson. It starts in like '86, '87, something like that. Yeah.
And then NFL documentary on the '85 Bears, one of the great teams of all time. Documentary on the Cleveland Falls. The back-to-back years, '88 and '89, the drive where Denver beats them in '88 in Cleveland, and then in '89 the fumble game. Yep. So '88, '89. Also, a great documentary, Elway to Marino, the 1983 draft. That went Elway went first, and then the last there was all those quarterbacks that went Elway to Marino. So that's every sport. I'm just asking you. I just listed, when you count the multiple documentaries on some of these, over 20 documentaries on a 10-year period. Am I mistaken to say, sports might have been better when we were growing up?
No kidding. And there are other things I'm thinking about, too. Like there's an America's Cup one that is incredible. That, Dennis Conner thing, as the U.S. gets it back. Like, that is amazing, too. I miss Bob, I don't know if you know this. You probably don't. I put a new background behind me. I'm currently sitting inside the Aud. Like right now, there's me, there's my face on the screen talking. There's a cartoon version of you that's amazing. But my face is in front of, like, the thing behind me is I see the golds, I see the reds, I see the blues, and I see the oranges, and it's awesome. And it's this is a perfect, as always, Bob, fit with what I'm trying to do here today. So awesome.
Yeah, it's just
I miss everything too.
That we grew up in. It was just a great 10-year period that our overlap of our childhood. But I'll sound old again if you want to. Before we get into Bills and Sabres, the Diana Rossini. I don't know how much you've talked about. Her getting her affair with Mike Vrabel.
A lot.
Well,
We've talked about it a lot.
There had to be a private detective. Those were private detective photos,
Seems
right?
that way.
That was not just you or me. Hey, there's Mike Vrabel. Let's take a picture of that.
Well, did you hear the thing about TMZ? The photos got shot to TMZ, and they didn't recognize Rossini. So they didn't care, because it was just like, Vrabel, whatever. Who you need both people to be household names, sort of, to make it as salacious as possible. And they turned it down because they didn't know that was her. And then the Post was like, oh yeah, we know her. She works over there. Like, let's do this.
I mean, the one thing I will say, and obviously their excuse of we had a ton of friends there that went with us, and then when none of the friends,
show me one.
Can you show me any friend that was there? Didn't show up. She got fired. I will.
She
also
resigned,
say,
Bob. She resigned.
Yes, she did resign.
Yeah.
This is I kind of look at all of those people as whores. I'll be honest with you. I mean, she might be more of a straight-up whore, but I really consider Adam Schefter a whore too. I don't. What he does, behind the scenes about getting stories out,
right,
which Mike Florio comes out. Is he any better than Diana Rossini? I mean,
he's less attractive.
He is. But the sexual favors that he does to general managers and agents, I don't know is any better than what Diana Rossini did to Mike Vrabel. Is what I'm saying, right?
100% correct. She's just attractive. He does the same stuff. I don't know what the stuff is. I don't know that he interlocks fingers with people next to pools, but something's going on with him always. It's gross. Him having the scoop when other, local people can't have the scoop. He's got it. He's in bed. Like, we say that as like a metaphor, but he's in bed with enough top people that he gets information other people don't. So what do we mean by in bed is the question. I also have to say, Bob, an hour ago, I started the show by setting an over-under on how many times you would say the word whore during, and you hit it. I said it at 2.5, and you said it 3 times in like 8 seconds. So in the chat, it says over, way over. But we did it. So I'm very proud of me knowing you. And knowing that Rossini would come up, and knowing that whore would come up. I didn't know that Schefter would be the target of the third whore, but whatever. We're over 2.5, and it paid. We cashed that.
Well, again, and this might be old school. Tell me if this one, again, to me, isn't right either. So we're at the Senior Bowl, let's just say, and you're at the bar at the Senior Bowl, and one of the guys that was always there was Bruce Arians. Now, that's okay. You're up at the bar. Bruce Arians is at the bar. You shoot the breeze, and you get together with Bruce Arians. Supposedly that happened with so many people when they were at the Senior Bowl.
Sure.
What I don't like is at the owners' meetings every year, Jay Glazer sets up a happy hour with all the coaches. He essentially pays or sets it up.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't like that. Isn't it his job to cover the coaches? And again, there's this, you're going to set up a happy hour where you're going to pick up the tab. Now, apparently, some of the coaches always pick up the tab for him. Whatever. I just don't think that's right.
It's a little,
I really
too
don't.
overt, right?
Yes.
Like it's too obvious and forward facing. Yes. I don't know.
It's not as bad, maybe, as what Chester's...
No, this is an interesting thing. Like, immediately to me, I'm like, that's a very smart idea. And also knowing, here's the part I don't like, what you just said. The coach is picking, like he knows I don't actually have to pay for this. I'm going to pretend to pay for it, but the guys who make way more than I do are going to take care of it. That part I don't like. But that sounds like something we would come up with, Bob. Let's not rain on the parade here. That sounds like a very good idea that we would come up with and do if we were in that position. So I don't know. I'm not ready to piss on what Glazer's doing there. That's a good idea.
All right, Bills, and let's get to the Sabres.
The Bills are not important right now. The Sabres are. Have you thought about the fact that the first round of the draft might be the same night as a Sabres playoff game?
No, I mean, yes. It's probably because they're going to start on
Saturday,
the Western
right?
Conference. It's got to be Saturday because Western Conference plays tonight.
They're still playing, so it's probably East Saturday, West Sunday, probably.
Right. It's got to be. They're not going to make the West play Thursday then Saturday.
All right.
There's
so
no
that go
way.
Monday, Wednesday. So that would get us out of it. That would be.
It would get us out.
Okay.
Yeah, it would. It would get us out. But that's what I think it's going to be. Yes, Wednesday, Friday, probably for the Eastern Conference.
Great.
But I think differently with the Bills. When the Bills broke the drought for the first several years, they weren't able to win the title. You know, when they went to Jacksonville with Tyrod,
it was fake.
They were not a contender.
No, it was just we were happy to be there.
Right, and even the year that the Bills go to the AFC Championship game and lose to Kansas City 38-24, it took the Bills years, I think, to get into the playoffs
to be legit,
and then realize. Yeah, then they were legit. The 13 seconds years certainly, and that from there on, they were legit. But those first couple of years, they weren't legit. Don't you have a totally different feel? About this Sabres? This Sabres team is legit right here, right now. They have as good of a chance as anybody in the Eastern Conference. I love the fact that Carolina has to play Ottawa, and Ottawa is an equal favorite with the Sabres as the third favorite, to go to the Stanley Cup in the Eastern Conference, which tells me Ottawa's got a shot here if they get good goaltending against Carolina. So you're right there. So I just think that the feel is so different when they break the drought that this team is actually,
it's time.
Go to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, the whole thing. They're no different. I mean, if I had to pick a team that they are most similar to, it's the 05-06 team that I think was the best team. It's the best team I've ever seen. I wasn't alive, or I was barely alive for 75, but it was very different from like the 99 team that was all about goaltending. It's just a legit team that can beat you in every way. And if they can get respectable goaltending, which there's no indication that they can't, there's a strong reason to believe that they're going to be playing, a bunch of games here. This is I don't want to overlook Boston. They're not going to overlook Boston, but I'm overlooking Boston. And I'm looking at Tampa or Montreal in the second round. That's fun. I mean, both are scary, but both are fun. Like that's an incredible series. And if you survive it, now you're on to maybe Carolina, maybe Ottawa. I don't know. And then the West. So it all makes sense. You can't watch this team and think there's somebody better in the league. Like they're that good right now. The vibe they have, the attitude they have, the ability to, trail going into the third down. You're down 2 and take a lead, which happened 2 weeks ago. They're down 2, they take a lead, they ended up losing the game in overtime, whatever. They still got a point. They did enough to win the friggin' division, which is crazy. But it's tough to watch them and think that there's somebody out there that is like unbeatable. They're good enough to do the whole thing.
And the NHL is so stupid. Of course, Gary Bettman, how he gets away with it, the fact that Montreal has to play Tampa Bay in the first round, both teams with 106 points, teams that finished 3-4 in the in the conference. And the same thing in the Western Conference because Dallas is going to have to play Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota, it's just idiotic. And of course, Bettman like doubles down. He can't.
Yeah.
He's never going to admit he's wrong. He's just like, yes, we have the best first round. But you're supposed to build to like a crescendo. You're not supposed to have a great first round and have your two teams. But I mean, it benefits the Sabres.
I like
it because because Montreal and Tampa, one of those two really good teams,
they're going to
beat the hell out of each other. Hopefully, right? They go 7 games, beat the snot out of each other, and then you play them, and hopefully they're beat up. It's just stupid that hockey does it that way, but in this particular case,
I'll take it.
Certainly could benefit the Sabres.
Which of those teams is scarier to you? Because I think Montreal scares me, and Tampa, I think the Sabres will toy with. I just the last 3 times they have met have been incredible, like displays of the Sabres' awesomeness. My favorite 3 games of the year maybe have been the last 3 Tampa games. So like I want that as a playoff series. I want it, and Montreal scares me more. But I don't know. They're both tough, obviously.
Well, Montreal is totally different game there, or scares you for different reasons, because Montreal is going to be a fun. That is going to be up and down.
Bunch
action.
of 6-5 games.
Oh yeah, you're going to love that. What scares you, I think, about Tampa is the goaltending. If you're a little worried about goaltending, you're playing Boston that's got a good goaltender. You got Tampa that's got a good goaltender, and that's how you could lose. You could lose is just some goaltender gets incredibly hot, and they got 2 guys that could burn you there. But again, from what I've seen during the regular season, no, I love the games that they played against Tampa, and I would not be, I'm not going to be afraid of anybody. I would be afraid if they make it to Colorado, and Carolina looks. I mean, those are the 2 best teams,
sure.
Carolina and Colorado. But getting to those 2 teams, no, I like the Sabres' chances against everybody. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that first 5 minutes of the first game is gonna be so electric. If the entrepreneur in you, if you had tickets, do you know how much they're going for? Those tickets they're selling for? Oh my God! I guess they're just crazy. I mean, face value, even you're going $600 to sit in the 300 level.
That's stupid.
If you got 100 level seats, you could easily, I bet, make $1,000 on that. So that's just I don't have them, but if I did have them, I'm certain in the back. Do we really want to go, or do I want to have like a couple of grand?
Yeah, I'll take the cash. The game's on TV. They're always on TV. Always. Every game's on TV.
Right.
I don't need to ever attend a game. I will take the money over attending a game for the rest of my life, I think.
Well, I think they're expecting. What do you think? How many people are going to be at Canal Side? There could be 25,000 people at Canal Side.
Well,
20,000.
5 of us. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're going to go. I haven't talked to Jeremy Hoyle, but I assume Strictly Hip will be involved in a pregame party, in the Party in the Plaza thing. I assume they'll be involved. And then, my son Zach doesn't care at all about hockey, but he likes fun, and he likes music, and he loves the Hip. And so I think the 5 of us will probably do that for game 1. And my wife is like, we can wait until, the second or third round. I'm like, we're not guaranteed that. We should go to the first. The first game is the one. So the first game, I think we will be there for the Canal Side thing. And whatever it ends up being, I'm going to be a part of it because that's awesome. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, my boys are going, and they've already. I'm their Uber driver. They said you got to drop us off because parking is going to be. Yeah,
that part sucks. My plan is park at UB South and take the train. Put the 5 kids. Take the 5 of us on the train. Because parking sounds horrible. But I'm in. Like we tried this last week. We went to Toronto. And we drove to Burlington and took a train. And instead of having a car in Toronto, you're just on foot in Toronto. And I think the same principle applies here. Just go to UB and take the train.
That's not a bad idea. Next time I go to Toronto, I'm going to go to the train station.
Oh, you have to. It's the best.
Yeah, I found out. My wife went to the first time I've ever been to the train station in Depew off of Dick Road. I
Yeah.
had never even been there before.
Oh, really?
And she went to New York City, took the train, went right into the heart of Manhattan.
Yeah.
She said that's the way to go, and she said that's the way to go to Toronto too. So I mean, if we do that, yeah, the train is the way to go for sure.
The Toronto thing, you can take it like right from Niagara Falls if you want, but we did Burlington, which is right as the drive begins to suck. You know the dread you have anytime you're going to Toronto? It's right as you start to turn around the lake. And instead of turning around the lake, you get off. When you see IKEA, you get off the road, and then you park, and then you get on a train. And I think I paid $40 for an all-day pass for 3 adults, which my oldest is an adult. The other 2 were free. So it was $40 to go there and back. You'd pay more than that just to park after the hassle of the drive, which sucks once you go around the lake.
No, that's the way to go, without a doubt.
Yeah, it was
hey,
great.
lastly, what we do have to talk about the draft because next time we talk will be after. I'm in on 3 positions. Are you with me with first round? Well, first of all, I would be fine if they traded back, but receiver, edge, or nose tackle, defensive line, or receiver is where I would be fine if they went in the first round. I don't want them going any place else. And one thing I do like from a lot of the 7-round mock drafts, it seems like a lot of people are picking the Bills to get Red Murdoch in like the 5th or 6th round. So I would be down with that as well as a UB player.
Yeah, God, yes. I was reading a Kuiper thing a couple days ago, and it was very specific. It was like a superlatives and the best this, the best that. He had best fumble forcer, and it wasn't Red Murdoch. It was a dude from Texas Tech who's predicted he's like the 3rd linebacker, and Red is like the 12th linebacker, like collectively or something like that. But it frustrated me that he would be that specific and then not use the guy who did that exact thing over the course of his career. But
good article that I recommend you read every year is Pete Prisco's Better Than column. It just came out this week. So these are guys that Prisco, he lists 20 guys in the draft that he likes better than the normal person, than the normal draft nicks, okay? And on that list is Red Murdoch. So I encourage everybody, just dropped a day or 2 ago on CBS Sports, Pete Prisco's Better Than column, and he'll give you 20 guys, but one of those 20 guys is Red Murdoch. So I do like that.
I didn't read it in 2018, but Khalil Mack is better than Clowney, who went first overall, Jadeveon Clowney. Like, we knew that. We knew that going in. We also were sitting together, if I remember correctly, Bob. We were sitting together at some bar or somewhere doing a draft show, and the Bills traded up to number 4. And we were like, oh, well, they're getting Mack. This is awesome. And then they took Watkins, and that sucked. But we were together for that, weren't we?
Yes, we were. We were doing a draft show together. I can't remember where, but it was at a bar.
It was definitely a bar. I can picture where we were sitting, but I don't know. I don't remember.
Yes.
I don't remember what bar it was, but whatever.
No.
All right, I've got the Better Than article up, and so we're going to let you go, and I'm going to play a song, and then when we come back, I'm going to talk about this article. So that sounds great. Thank you. Thank you for your help, Bob. You're the best.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, Brad.
All right, see you, Bob.
Care.
There's Bob Gone. It is Riter Radio. It's episode 294 of Riter Radio. I don't have a plan for 300. I also am not doing shows next week, so it'll be 2 weeks from now that we probably do 5 shows, and then I don't know. But 300 should be a thing, right? I think it should. All right, let's keep going here. It's Riter Radio. It's episode, what? 294? Seems like a lot of episodes. Put on my Mets hat. Although, what stinks, like, I'm creatively framing myself in the video, because this shirt is a Blue Jays shirt, but it looks fine with the Mets hat. I didn't feel like going over there and finding the Blue Jays hat. The Mets hat was sitting right here. We're the Mets this year. Our 12U team is going to be the Mets, and they're going to give me a 16 on my back, although I think we might wear orange, like a Syracuse Mets orange, which is fine. But this looks great, I think, with this shirt. The hat and the shirt look great, unless I do that. Then you see it's Blue Jays, and I look dumb. What do you support? Whose side are you on, jerk? That's what I look like. All right. Thanks to Bob Gaughan, who was just on. And he recommended that we read Pete Prisco's Better Than Team for 2026 NFL Draft. The 20 prospects he's higher on than scouts. Good idea. I like it. And, when Bob brought it up, I immediately thought of Khalil Mack is better than Jadeveon Clowney. We know this. Why is Mack going fifth when Clowney's going first? It's crazy. All right. There's a chance Oklahoma edge R. Mason Thomas could go in the first round of the draft. So why is he the captain of my better than team, a team of players I like better than most scouts? Because I think he should go top 15 and maybe higher. Thomas says the twitch you want from edge rushers, what he doesn't have is size. At 6'2", 242. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to scroll down. I'm going to say this before I scroll down. I bet he mentions Dwight Freeney. Because you should mention Dwight Freeney here. At 6'2", 242, he doesn't have the size to be an every down end. But he has what it takes to fit as a stand-up rusher. Think Denver pass rusher Nick Bonito, another former Sooner. Former Sooner is funny. It says former Sooners player, but I made it former Sooner. It's a good joke. Thomas probably isn't as quick and twitchy as Bonito, but he plays the run better and has more power. I like watching good versus good when I evaluate edge players. Thomas was really good against Will Campbell of LSU in 2024. He also had some really good rushes against Alabama's Caden Proctor, who will be a first-round tackle in this draft. All right. R. Mason Thomas. We got him. Travis Burke from Memphis is what is he? 9th highest PFF offensive grade. He's a tackle. OT. Travis Burke. All right. Emmett Johnson, running back, Nebraska. Garrett DeGiorgio in IOL. What's that? What's that mean? Inside, outside. L seems like linebacker, but he's not a linebacker at 6'6", 320. Oh, inside offensive line is probably what IOL would mean. So center and guard. Okay. Traden Stukes, Arizona cornerback. Okay. Caden Curry, Ohio State edge. Pop on the tape of the star-laden Ohio State defense. You'll see a lot of top-level talent. Guys who will go in the upper part of the first round. But as I watched their tape, a guy who kept popping up consistently was defensive end Caden Curry. He actually led the team in sacks with 11, more than other stars like Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles, both projected as top 8 picks. Curry is short at 6'2.5" and weighs 260. So physically, he isn't imposing, but he makes up for it with his power and his effort. He also slid inside on passing downs, which gives him even more value. He might never be a 10-sack guy, but as a rotational player, he will be a nice add to any roster. All right. Nick Borkicker, tight end, Texas A&M. Jadarian Price, running back from Notre Dame. Zachariah Branch, wide receiver from Georgia. 5'8.5", not interested. Eli Heidenreich, running back, Navy, sure. Zachy Wheatley, Penn State safety, sure. Antonio Williams, wide receiver, Clemson. Jalen McMurray, cornerback, Tennessee. Tanner Koziel, he's a problem. That dude's a problem. He was difficult to deal with when he was at Ball State. He transferred to Houston. He's massive, 6'6", 247. True pass catcher at the tight end position. As a former receiver, this Ball State transfer had 74 catches and 6 touchdowns in his only season in Houston. For a team looking for a guy who can help in the blocking area, don't look at him. He's a true pass-catching tight end who can create mismatch issues For defenses, he has the frame to add more weight to better handle the physical style of the NFL game. As a detached tight end, he's worth a look in the 5th round down. Yeah, Tanner Koziel's a stud. For sure. D'Angelo Pons. Indiana cornerback. I hesitated there because I hear Pons, I think of Junius Pons, which is a rest stop on the thruway. And every time I drive past the Junius Pons rest stop on the thruway, I think that sounds like a linebacker from North Carolina. And now we've got a Pons in the draft. He's an Indiana corner, but Junius Pons, I would draft him sight unseen. Just, yeah, I'll take Pons. In his Carolina blue. That sounds like a linebacker to me. Always has. Junius Pons. D'Angelo Pons. Indiana cornerback. Cool. Jay-Sean Barham. Michigan linebacker. Caleb Proctor. Southeast Louisiana defensive line. Ethan? It's like Nathan without the N. That's not a name. Come on. What are you doing? Ethan. Ethan is not a name. Nathan is a name. I have a child named Nathan who lives at my house. That's a name. Nathan is a name. Ethan is not. He's a quarterback. Ethan Kaliakmanis? Kaliakmanis. Rutgers quarterback. I'm going to read this paragraph about this dude. I always look for down-the-line quarterbacks who have a chance to make a roster as a backup and maybe even hang around for a while. Ethan Kaliakmanis is it. Watching his games last year on TV, I came away impressed. Watching his tape featured a lot of impressive moments as well. Played the last 2 seasons at Rutgers after transferring from Minnesota, and he threw 38 touchdown passes and 14 picks with the Scarlet Knights. He did have some good receivers, so that helped. He had a tendency to hit the big plays down the field. At 6'2", he isn't huge, but he's big enough. The arm is certainly good enough. He is a down-the-line passer who should make a team as a backup. What's down-the-line mean? Down-the-line quarterbacks. Down-the-line passer. I don't know what that means. I assumed at the beginning of it that he meant down-the-line, like guy we're not talking about. But then at the end, he calls him a down-the-line passer. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe it's a reference to the first sentence. I don't know. Cassius Howell, Texas A&M edge. Red Murdoch. There he is. He's the last one on the list. Red Murdoch, linebacker, University of Buffalo. What does he say about Red? At just under 6'2" and 230, Red Murdoch is a thumper in the run game. He has a knack for finding the football. He's a good tackler and made a lot of plays with his ability to get to the ball. He's not great in coverage, which could be a problem for him on the next level. He's athletic, but his movement in coverage wasn't great. Even so, there's a spot for a tenacious tackler like him on the next level. He will make a team on special teams and maybe find a spot on the field down the road. Fine. Again, no mention of the fact that he is the leading forced fumble guy in the history of college football. He surpassed some other dude named Khalil Mack for that number. He set out to do it. He talked about how he was going to do it, and then he just went and did it. Oh, there it is. It's there. Career, 17 forced fumbles, NCAA record. He didn't mention it in the paragraph, but it's in his little where they put his name. It's his face. It says Red Murdoch, Buffalo linebacker, number 2. Career, 17 forced fumbles, NCAA record. He's the man. I had something else open that I wanted to read. It was so they did a thing on ESPN.com of what's the biggest problem with every team. Hockey team, sorry. Stanley Cup contender flaws, top issues for NHL playoff teams. And I wanted to know what they had to say about the Sabres. And here it is. There is no team buoyed by vibes more than the Sabres. And the vibes have not been this high in Buffalo for nearly 20 years. Certainly in downtown Buffalo. They have good vibes in OP, but not at the arena. Outside of vibes, the Sabres' journey back to the playoffs has been due to one of the luckiest runs in years. Far better goaltending than expected, more shorthanded goals than all but two teams, and overperforming on both sides of the expected goals ledger. That is the type of luck that can power a team to a Stanley Cup win. Okay? That sounds right? Like, I'm initially offended by the term lucky. Right? I think that's reasonable. But it's kind of right. I mean, we're all walking around going, what the hell's going on? Why is this happening? How is this happening? What is this? Make no mistake, the Sabres are very much the Cinderella of the NHL this year. They're the story everyone loves, the team many outside fans root for, the improbable run to overcome tremendous mental obstacles, and the team that overperforms any expectations. I will say this sounds like AI. And if ESPN's using AI, I'm grossed out by that. This is purportedly written by someone named Rachel Krychak. And I somewhat suspect she's using AI to write for ESPN.com. Okay. The thing about Cinderella is the clock always strikes midnight. Can the Sabres stave off a goaltending fall back to earth, a power play that does not produce, or finishing that dries up when scoring chances are more difficult to come by? If they can, the glass slipper might fit. But the moment things start to falter, it will likely be the end of one of the most magical seasons in Sabres history. What does that mean? And doesn't that sound exactly like AI? I'm going to cut and paste this into one of the AI things I have and ask it if it wrote it. I'm going to try. We'll use ChatGPT. It's simple. I think that this woman is stealing money from ESPN because I think that is AI. And she's taking credit for it, and that I don't like it. Now get rid of this. Now, what am I working on? Not that. No, I don't want this. Yes, I'm talking out loud to AI. And not even to AI. It's to you. There's just too much stuff on the screen that needs to go away. Get rid of that. Okay. All right. I'm going to write. Did you write this? Question mark. Control V. There. All right. Let's see what AI says about. I didn't write it that, but it reads like a polished sports analysis piece. Something you'd see from an outlet like The Athletic or ESPN. A few tells. The repeated vibes framing and Cinderella metaphor are stylistic choices common in hockey columns. It leans on analytics language like expected goals ledger, which is typical of modern NHL coverage. The structure, narrative hook, statistical grounding, big picture takeaway is very professional. One thing worth flagging, the argument is a bit slanted. Calling a team one of the luckiest runs in years based on goaltending and finishing can be controversial. Analysts often debate how much of that is actually luck versus player development or systems. So it's not purely objective. It's making a case. If you want, I can try to track down the exact source or check whether it's from a specific writer. I still suspect this woman of faking it. I don't need you to track anyone down. This is what I'm saying to a robot right now. I just think the writing sounds like you or another AI thing. I get why it gives that impression. It does have some traits people associate with AI writing, but nothing in it is uniquely AI. What you're picking up on is a mix of clean, structured flow, repetition for emphasis, balanced, slightly detached tone. That style is actually very common in modern sports journalism, especially analytics-driven hockey writing. A lot of human writers deliberately use that kind of rhythm because it's clear and persuasive. If I'm being blunt, there are a couple tells that lean more human than AI. The vibes repetition is a bit playful and slightly overused in a way that feels like a writer enjoying their own phrasing. The Cinderella midnight glass slipper sequence is a layered metaphor that's a little on the nose. AI often avoids stacking metaphors that heavily unless prompted. The argument has a subtle bias, one of the luckiest runs in years, without fully proving it, which is very typical of opinion writing. So it could have been written by AI. Could have been written by AI, is what I tried to say. But it just as easily could have been written by a human sports columnist. There's no clear fingerprint either way. If you want, I could point out what would make it more obviously AI written versus more distinctly human. I don't need that from you. No, I think we're done. But I am very suspicious of this writer, Rachel Krychek. I think she's using AI to write for ESPN. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I thought Junius Pons was a Paul McCartney and Wings song. No, it's a linebacker from North Carolina and a rest stop. I think I'm done. I'll talk to you tomorrow on episode 295 of Riter Radio. Thank you. Bye.
I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich.
We're gonna go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place.
Okay.
We brought you a shirt.
Will you get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?